Everyone, spring is just around the corner, and what that means here for Inflatable Boarder is we are starting to see our first shipments of new paddleboards coming in. So I just got a few here from Sea Gods, their new 2025 models, so I'm going to do a little unboxing. Sea Gods has been working real hard on improving their packaging to make it more environmentally friendly, and they've also been adding some more things throughout the year, so I'm going to take you through what you're going to get when you order a board from Sea Gods. So we're going to start with this one, the Diatom CX. This is the Markovka. The new artwork for this year, and we'll find out if there's a mystery board in there too for me. So let's start here. There we go. Okay, so we've got Sea Gods board bag here, and they always give you a little thank you letter and some instructions here for getting your manuals and everything. Okay, underneath we've got a silica packet. Pick that up because the dog's out here. And we got a sticker pack. So we've got a few stickers there, and then a little note to me. So I'll read that off camera here in a bit, see what that's saying. Oh. And it looks like, oh, come on, fingers. Another sticker, no rough days. I like that. That's a nice new one. Okay, scoot that out of the way. Okay. Sea Gods bag, which maybe went through a little redesign this year, but I don't think so. It looks pretty similar. I'm not noticing anything right away. So get this opened up. Actually, I'm gonna lay this down so everything doesn't spill out. Hi, Kira. There's the dog anyway. Okay. These last couple straps there. Okay, so we do have some new printing on here. In the pocket, we've got the fin. So this is the 9-inch touring fin. It's got a has a cardboard cover for it now. It used to be wrapped in plastic, so that's a nice little packaging upgrade. So far, everything is recyclable. Okay. Put that back in for now. All right, so then we've got the Sea Gods paddle, paper packaging, there's the handle, and we've got tissue paper packaging again. So far, everything is recyclable. Stay. Throw that over there. Okay, first thing I like to do is check the paddle. Make sure that everything fits correctly. It's a little loose, so these paddles are, I think it was off camera. You can tell it's loose. These are really easy to adjust, the single lever, which I think is a change. I think they used to be dual lever or dual bolt, which you had to have a screwdriver. So all you have to do is give it a little twist. It's still a little loose. You don't want to over tighten, so just do one at a time. There we go, okay. And paddle in there, so it's a nice good fit. Just a tiny little bit of play, but you won't feel that on the water. And check. Oh. Okay. Still having that issue. So this has been an issue we've seen with some of the Sea Gods paddles, which I'm not sure if you'll be able to see that on camera. They come from the factory misaligned. This is a warranty issue, so if you do have this defect, contact Sea Gods. They'll get you a new paddle right away. Okay, so I had already finished recording, and I was packing things up, and I was thinking, you know, the paddle that came with the Skylla and the Elemental Wave, you know, it had more twist in here than I was expecting because of the indexing groove. So I was like, oh, well, maybe, you know, let's take a look at it. And what I noticed was that the little nubbin in here that gives you the indexing is actually quite a bit smaller than the groove that's on here. And so on the second paddle that I picked up, that's why it twists. I didn't have the clamp quite as tight. So what I did is I put this one in and I saw, okay, oh, it's twisted. We've had that issue before. But I think what Seagods might have done to kind of help with this is to use that smaller nubbin in here. So the indexing groove still helps you get your handle on correctly for the right orientation, but you still need to make sure it's aligned. So within that indexing groove, I actually do have about 15 or 20 degrees of play from side to side. So when doing that, I switched it back all the way to the other side, clamped it down, and now perfectly in line. So when you put your paddle together, if you do have that issue where the handle is not aligned, and hopefully this shows up, the handle's not aligned with the blade, loosen it up, see if there's some play in there, and then try it. And then if that still doesn't work, then contact Seagods. But it looks like that's kind of the route they've gone, is to use a slightly smaller nubbin, that's probably the technical term, with the indexing groove here. So check that first, and glad to see that that worked out. Set this to the side. Okay, oh, and we definitely have two boards in here. So I'm gonna set that one off. We'll get to that one in a second. Okay, see the leash here, no packaging on the leash, which totally fine for me. I don't really understand why every single thing needs to be in its own little plastic packaging anyway, so that's nice. Okay, we've got repair kit, and these repair kits are more than your average repair kit because Seagods understands that you need more than just a piece of PVC to actually fix your board if there's an issue. So in here we do have some color matched PVC for patching if you need it. Put that back in. We do have a screwdriver, which now that the paddle has changed from being a dual bolt cam that needed a screwdriver to adjust to being a single lever cam. Don't think we really need this anymore because the fin doesn't even come with a screw-in bolt. So nice little screwdriver to have, handy, helpful for friends who do have screw-in bolts or screw-in paddles. So it's still a nice little addition. We've got our valve wrench for adjusting the valve tightness if we need to do that. We do have some adhesive, whoops. And what I actually highly recommend is when you get your board, take this out of your repair kit and throw it in the freezer. It will keep a lot longer that way. These will, put it in a plastic bag, throw it in your freezer. These will off-gas a little bit. And if you leave it in your repair kit, if you leave it out, like if you've got your board bag out on the beach or something and it gets really hot, these can leak. And I've had that happen before, and you just end up with a bunch of dried glue inside your repair kit, and it ruins your patches and you're out of glue. So I recommend taking these, put it in a little Ziploc baggie, throw it in your freezer. We have this little guy here. So this is a little pot of grease, and this is for your pump. So manual pump lubricant. What you would do is the stanchions on the pump, they can get dry and the O-rings will dry out and everything. So make sure your stanchions are really clean. You can put some of the lubricant on there. It helps keep things moving smoothly. And then lastly, we have fin hardware. So we have more of these plugs that you saw on the fin, and these give you your pressure fit system, so you don't have to use any tools or bolts. But there is a bolt and nut in here, which is great because sometimes you do just want that extra, added bit of security that, I've not had much of an issue with this style of pressure fit system. I think, out of 120 boards, maybe 20% of them have this. So what is that, 25 or so boards? I think I've lost one fin over the years. So, not too bad there. But there is the bolt here if you want to use that as well. So that's everything in the repair kit. Okay, so now we have the board. So the board is wrapped up. It has a compression strap around it, a nice long one too. It's great. You got plenty of room for it. And then instead of wrapping the boards in a non-recyclable plastic, Seagods is wrapping them in a microfiber towel. So not only is it a way to reduce plastic, but now you get a really nice landing mat made out of this microfiber material, so you can You can use it as a towel, although it's quite long, and you can use it as a landing mat to set your board out to protect that artwork. So for right now, I'm going to attempt to fold this up here in my living room. So maybe we'll time lapse this, right? And we'll see how that comes together in the edit. Okay, so now we have the board. All right, so here is the new Markovka edition of the Diatom CX. Same kind of basic color pattern here, but we've got definitely have a different deck pad. So this is definitely new. Looks like we have, it's not the CNC cut anymore like it was on the Mandala edition, although it might be, you know, whatever's making these grooves. But it's not a multi-layer pad, but I think that's okay. You know, honestly, this is probably gonna be more durable anyway, and it still looks absolutely great. And you can see we've got all the lovely artwork on here, and it looks pretty good. So for right now, I'm just gonna pack this back up. We'll do our bend testing and everything later, but it looks great. Now, one thing I'm noticing is that this did not come with the pump. So I will check on that with Mandy at Sea Gods and see if that was just because they didn't give me a pump or if that's a change in the kit, but I'll verify that. So that letter that Mandy had written me in there, if I had actually taken the time to read that before doing the rest of the unpacking, that would have answered a couple questions for me. The kits do come with the dual chamber triple action hand pump. And then she also wanted to point out another thing. This is a pretty small detail, but it's like a nice little detail they're really thinking about. This bottom handle on here to help kind of grab the bag as you're lifting it with both hands from the top and bottom. On a lot of these bags, it's solid on top and there's just a little cove you slide your fingers in. And this one is a bar with a full handle. And she pointed out that especially my wife might really appreciate that because now you don't have to worry about chipping your nails as you're lifting the bag. So I thought that was a really fun little detail that, you know, they're really thinking about every part of the customer experience. Okay, so now we've got this. It's another new board. It looks like this one was a demo they sent me. I can see it's been used. We do have that from time to time. We don't always get fresh boards to test, which I totally understand. This is actually recyclable. So we are 100% recyclable packaging right now, which is great. And we have, this is the Carta Marina CX. And we have what looks to be the Totem colorway. So that looks awesome. There is some marking on there. So yeah, I mean, it's definitely been used, but that's okay. And that's absolutely beautiful. So can't wait to get that inflated, get that out on the water and photographed, and that looks really nice. Really, really nice. All right, what do you think so far? Yeah. Okay, so the next one we have, this is Elemental Wave, and if my theory holds true, a Skylla. So let's get this cracked open. Okay, and we'll start on top here. So, oh, here we go, I see it already. Again, we've got our cloth here. And this is the new Leopard print Skylla, which pretty bold. Ooh, I like the red rail, that's different. Sea Gods normally has blue, you can see the light blue and dark blue rails there. So we have this red and black. Black, I'm not super wild about on rails, but you know, it just depends on the construction. Sea Gods construction is really good, I'm not too worried about it. But anytime you have black rails, you do want to be really observant of heat management and making sure that you're really not leaving your board fully pressurized out in the sun. You don't want to do that with any board, but especially with the black rails. It just absorbs so much more energy and can create issues if you do that. So don't do that. We've got just a solid black deck pad here. Nice little kind of crocodile pebble texture on it. And we have this gorgeous leopard print that, I think it looks pretty wild, pun intended. I think it looks really good. Yeah, can't wait to get out on the water. I think it's gonna be, you know, like every other Sea Gods board, just absolutely eye-catching. So let's pack that back up. Okay, and again, we've got the fins. Now, what I've noticed is that both of these boards, the Elemental Wave and the Diatom, actually used to both come with a surf-style fin, which would be more, you know, sometimes called a dolphin fin or an all-around fin or surf-style fin or a flex fin, or, you know, however we want to define the fin shape and name. But it would have a much bigger cutout, it would be raked back a lot farther, and it would be a lot thinner. These touring style fins tend to greatly improve tracking, which is definitely something that I think is really good for these all-around boards. Is typically one of the first things that people will not necessarily complain about, but ask about how to change with their paddling on any board when they're first time or new paddleboarder, is how do I go straighter? And of course, there's a lot of technique that goes into that, and that's the most important thing. But having a larger surface area fin, a little bit deeper, a little bit more rake, all of that is gonna help improve your tracking ability. So cool to see that. Again, I'm gonna go ahead and just put that in the recycle bin. Got another paddle, nice and firm there. You know, it feels like it's definitely a different texture than their previous paddle. I don't know if it's a different material. So there's another thing to follow up on. The previous ones, the texture was a lot smoother. This one has a little bit of, you can hear it, just a little bit of texture on it. So I'll follow up to see if that was a change in plastics. And again, we've got the microfiber landing mat nicely tucked around, keeping everything nice and clean and protected during transportation. And this Elemental Wave is the new 2025 design, which is the Stacy Sea Turtle design. And so looking at the front here at the top, we have a nice sea turtle motif on the deck pad. And we've gone to, it looks like we have a diamond texture. So the Diatom was that kind of pebble texture. This is more of the diamond. I think they're honestly equally good when it comes to traction. For 99% of people using these things on flat water anyway, not gonna make a huge difference whether it's diamond or pebbled, or, you know, even some of the nicer brushed flat ones, although I still don't think those are quite as grippy as these textured ones. And you know, it really only comes in when you are on, you know, surfing or downwinding or whitewater, where you really need that extra grip. So these are great. And we've got a sea turtle artwork on the deck and on the hull. Oh, if I can turn around. Unpacking these in your living room is not always the easiest thing. We have more of the sea turtle artwork, seeing them underwater. Nice little sunrise, sunset, and some coral here on the bottom. Just once again, just beautiful. I mean, any of these boards, you could easily hang on a wall. And, you know, obviously you shouldn't, you should go out and use them. But I guess in between uses, you could hang them on a wall and it would be artwork. So I don't quite have enough room for a 10 or 11 foot board, but maybe I can squeeze one in somewhere. Okay, so there you got it. I got a little weird angle to help see them on the floor here. But there are 4 of the new 2025 paddleboards from Sea Gods. And I'm gonna go take them for a spin this weekend, going camping. So I'll have a few days to go just hang out and try them out. And you know, we'll let you know how they go. Thanks for watching.